taken, and it will take more, to do anything about George Floyd intersection, 38th in Chicago, is a really, really great example of what's happened to politics the closer you get to the country's tallest buildings. With the election of young people, in the Minneapolis case, all social, not all, mostly socialist leaning, no training in the real world. They're a professional activist class. And the microcosm would suggest that they can't get anything done. Nothing has happened at 38th in Chicago. What are we going on? 5 years? It'll be 5 years this spring. And they took a step backwards yesterday. They had a plan, city staff, they finalized about a month ago. That's after years of community engagement, and it allowed traffic to still exist and what have you. It was going to make the area pedestrian friendly, but some council members said, well, it's not friendly enough for pedestrians. So this Jason Chavez, who I think is a great mistake to represent anyone in Minneapolis, said, well, we only have one shot to make this right. Well, you've had one shot to make it right going on 5 years, and you haven't done a damn thing because you're not capable of doing anything. And he said, I want to be able to talk about making George Floyd Square a pedestrian mall. So no traffic.
Isn't that what it is right now?
Well, no traffic. I mean, no traffic. The plan rejected by the council was more versatile. It would allow traffic to move through the intersection at 38th in Chicago. But that's killed. Now they want to come back and study it for a longer period of time and come up with no traffic, pedestrian only, as if you have some boutiques over there that people are dying to walk to.
Yeah.
They don't exist. What's your problem?
No, I was just thinking, did we discuss, is the auto center guy, is he even still open?
I don't think so. So now we're going to have additional engagement with residents and business owners.
What a joke.
This is pathetic. You people can't accomplish anything because you don't know how to. You've never had to.
I want them to go through all of South Minneapolis and question every resident who drives an automobile, because 38th is the best street or avenue through South Minneapolis. If you want to get over the freeway, 38th is absolutely the best option.
Andrea Jenkins represents the ward that happens to have that intersection.
Okay.
And he, she, I suspect she likes to be she, right? It's a she.
That's correct.
Yeah. She's throwing her hands up in the air.
Yeah.
She's saying, look, we've spent years reaching this point. You're now disregarding thousands of hours of community engagement, Jenkins said. Fry echoed that, thousands of hours. The council asked for engagement. The staff did extensive work. The results are clear. The people wanted a versatile street, Fry said. But this Twerp Chavez, who was a big, big mistake for that city.
Twerp's a funny word.
Well, he's a twerp. That's twerp.
That's perfect.
He comes along and says, no, we need more time. We need to have a pedestrian mall. And
no.
So they're going to kick the can down. This is going to be a dump for the next 5 years because they can't do anything. They don't know how. They've never had to. They're in charge of what was once a great city. They're bringing that city to its knees. The same is happening in St. Paul to a much lesser degree. Minneapolis is going to crumble under this kind of leadership. The taxpayers don't care. The voters don't care. It's the voters' fault. It is the fault of the voters in Minneapolis. You have voted to ruin your city. Side note, one of the people who testified before the St. Paul City Council the other night, packing the room, 200 citizens showed up to express their astonishment at the property taxes, and one woman said, I'm a progressive, but holy smokes, I looked at this. My point being, yes, progressives, it'll even come back to haunt you that you keep electing the wrong people.
Well, wait, I just have to vote for a different Democrat then, right?
The point is, it's ruinous. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. These people are ruinous because they don't know how to do anything because they've never had to.
Well, he's living in a fantasy world. That's an absurd fantasy. It's not even a dream. The memorial that's there now is already a giant pain in the ass.
Yep.
That intersection has always sucked. You always clench when you're on 38th approaching Chicago because if you hit a red light there, you're going to be there a while. And now they've got this thing in the middle of the street. I don't understand why they don't put it in the lot where that Super America used to be. You've got an empty building there. You've got a lot. Put the whole memorial right in there. And then one more thing. They're talking about how they don't want any traffic going. It would be northbound on Chicago, and they don't want them driving over the spot where George died. That's the middle of the road.
Here's why it's a microcosm of politics. From hour one, there wasn't a single solitary member of the political class in Minneapolis, including the mayor. There wasn't a single member who looked at this from a common sense way. They only looked at it from how much can I politically gain here by dragging my feet, by pretending I'm honoring George Floyd, by acknowledging we'll put the intersection in the hands of people we're going to pretend know what they're doing. If from hour one, this was doomed because it wasn't looked at the way a city should look at a problem like this. There should have been one day of peaceful prayer and then get back to work. Here comes the traffic. Let's go back to work. That never happened. This was chosen to become sort of lured.
Sacred site.
And it's all BS. They know it, but this is how they make political hay. And it works in that city, and it's the voters' fault.
Except for Andrea.
Except for all people, Andrea Jenkins.
She's got the most common sense approach to all of this. Get that thing out of the street, put it in the parking lot, open up that intersection.
These are people. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe they're running a city the size of Minneapolis. It's hard to believe. It really is. They have had no experience in anything. It's the same in St. Paul, where you have the least diverse city council in America. At least there's a male or two and a trans and other people on the Minneapolis City Council. St. Paul has 7 women, all about the same age, all in the same living conditions, all female. They have no diversity whatsoever. They're the same ideology. It's the voters' fault. The voters are not producing people to run for. The voters are not helping to support candidates who could upend this dreadful path we're on. It's a horrible situation. Both cities are suffering, and this is the perfect microcosm of what happened. And what happened was this wasn't looked at as an infrastructure problem or a street problem or a traffic flow problem. This was looked at as an opportunity to appear virtuous.
100%.
It's gotten you nowhere. It's gotten you nowhere.
Yeah.
We want to have Johnny Height join us?
As soon as I mark down your microphone practice.
I cleared my throat.
Exactly.
You get to clear your throat on the
When you
air.
do this,
I went like this.
No,
Stop.
You go like this.
Did you mention who voted against it before you launch us into a break here?
Yeah, let me get it back up. Andrea did.
It's the very last paragraph in the Star Tribune story. Michael Rainville, Latricia, Andrea, Koski, and Linnea.
Okay.
Palmisano.
And
they all voted against it.
Give us who voted for it.
Voting for it, agreeing was...
Voting for it meaning to not do anything yet.
Chavez, Wansley, Ellison, Osman, Cashman, and Chowdhury.
Democratic Socialists. They adhere to nothing that's recognizably American.
And Elliot Payne and Aisha Shigati.
Yeah. So good luck to you, Minneapolis. It's your fault. You voted for them. So there.
Okay.
Okay, now back to the scoreboard. Where are we at, Chris?
Right now, Joe is in the lead.
Look, this ain't Nam. There's rules.
I wanted to go for the
Exactly.
record. I wanted to go for the
See,
record.
do you guys know this? There's a on-off